Hello there, this will be a review of the Nokia E7 where we'll be covering stuff like calls, apps, browser, email, screen and text input. So let's get started. The Nokia E7 is obviously a phone and the call quality is above average. I'd say it is pretty good. However, I wouldn't say it's the best. I wouldn't say it's amazing because it just isn't. Nothing is perfectly clear. I can hear them, but it's not perfect. At times, it is a bit of a cackling noise to the person's voice. That's not their voice, it's just the quality of the call. And all in all, as I just said, it's above average, not the best, it's not the worst either, and it does the job. So call quality is pretty good. Oh, sorry, not above average to pretty good. And the next thing we're going to go on to is the applications, and obviously we need to fire up the Ovi store. And here it is, and I must say, compared to when I had my first Symbian device, the Nokia 5800, the Nokia or Ovi store has really grown. If I just go into some categories here, and as you can see, it does look pretty nice. It's well laid out. If you go into games, just an example, all games, top 3, let's just go here. Angry Birds free, Bubble Birds, the free trial of FIFA 12, Marble Maze Classic, Copter It 2, Maria Golf HD, Fruit Ninja, Glow Air Hockey, and the best sellers we get stuff like Asphalt 6 in HD again, stuff like Angry Thumb. I don't know what most of these are, but the fact of the matter is the Ovi store has really grown into something a lot bigger. It's not anything on the level of iOS and even Android for that matter, but the fact of the matter is it has grown very well. This is just normal applications. We get Fmobi, which I'm guessing is a Facebook thing, and Joku Spot Premium, which basically lets you tether your Wi-Fi connection, your 3G connection to Wi-Fi. Maze Lock version 2.1, so on and so forth. Also, one thing that I do like about this, because the integration of two social networks, Facebook and Twitter. So we get go into menu, and socials comes built in with Symbian Anna. I'm not sure about the previous version, which is the 3rd edition on this. So update to Symbian Anna, and you'll get this. Go into social. This is an app. It's not going to link us to the Ovi store. And here we go. This is my Facebook. And as you can see, I have my Twitter and my Facebook hooked up. If I add a social network, I can add another Facebook or Twitter account. And if I just go to show you my Twitter, at AsimAhmed6, if you feel inclined to follow me. I'm just following a few well-known people, and as you can see, it's pretty well integrated. I can load up my tweets, and obviously I have not tweeted as of yet. I'm not really a Twitter person. I can see my friends or my followers. I can compose a message, and I can search Twitter. However, this leads me into the browser, which brings me on to nicely to the next thing, which is of course the browser. So just a summary of the apps. As I just said, the wide range of apps on Symbian is now welcome, and there is a pretty good range. So now onto the browser. Most things that you do load up and they have a mobile website, it will go straight to the mobile website. So here I'm on Twitter, and let's just go to talk.maimo.org. I've used this website for my N900 sort of stuff, and it's a pretty good website because it's a full website. It's not a mobile website, so you can actually see the performance of the phone itself. And if you just zoom out, pinch to zoom, not really fluid, but it does the job. And obviously when you pinch out, you do get that checkerboard pattern around the edge. I find that pretty annoying, to be honest, but other people might not mind at all. And if we just go scroll up, scroll down, scroll down. That is pretty smooth, not the smoothest, but it is pretty smooth. If we just press this, we get a wide range of options. We can go to the home page, save this as a bookmark, view our bookmarks, go to history, windows, add feed. I'm sure you can read the rest for yourself. Go into settings, we get a few settings. We get general, which is just basically talking about the basics of the internet, what you want your homepage to be, what your back button. You can either just go to previous page or thumbnail images, which is basically this. You can see what we've been on before, and it's got a nice thumbnail image for it. Let's go back to Twitter. Don't know what I've clicked. However, one thing I don't like about the browser is the fact that it's got Flashlight 4.0. It's not got a full implementation of Flash. Therefore, you can't really use Flashlight at all. The only time I find it useful is going into, let's just get out of this as well, is the YouTube application, which so kind of brings me on to another thing. While we're going on to YouTube, let's just go on, let's just type my username in, SM104, and this brings me on to the screen. Let's just look at my E7 unboxing. Obviously we can view it in portrait, and we get a little screen like this, and I'll just switch this off, I don't want to hear myself, and if I double click you get full screen, and I'm not sure how well it actually translates onto the camera, onto your screen, but the image quality on the screen is not very good at all. It's, even though it's a 4-inch AMOLED screen, 16 by 9 aspect ratio, and even the fact that Nokia are calling it NHD, it's got a pretty poor resolution of 360 by 640. That gives you a pixel per inch density of 184, which is pretty poor, to be honest. I mean, you've got stuff like the Retina display, QHD by Motorola. This stands nowhere near it. One good thing, however, about the screen is that it's got Gorilla Glass on top, therefore it is scratch resistant. You can view 16 million colors on the screen, and if I have any photos I can show you. Let's just have a look at this. This is some random thing. There is no, let's see what this does. Yep, full screen. We can pinch to zoom. It's pretty fluid, and it is pretty clear. It's not the best. This picture was actually taken from the camera, and it's not really the best. It's not too clear. So all in all, the screen is a bit of a letdown. Now the next thing we can talk about is just the raw performance of the phone. It has a 680 MHz ARM11 processor, backed up by 256 megs of RAM, 1 gig of ROM, 16 gigs internal storage. So the performance of the phone itself, it is pretty quick, not the fastest around, but it really does do the job. Going to menu, let's just open up some applications, notes, there we go, it's taking us to home. Open up photos, and we can open up the log. Once again, we have, how many apps do we have open? We have 7 apps open. Let's open calendar. Once again, it still works pretty fast. I mean, I can open up another app now. I can still scroll through here well enough. I can do things on settings. Let's just not exit that. Let's open another app. Applications. Let's find something that is pretty sucking. Here we go. Let's open up the camera, which kind of brings us on to the next thing as well, which is the 8 megapixel camera on the back. And the main emission of the camera is obviously the fact that it does not have autofocus. So that is pretty bad. It's just fixed focus. Even with the hardware button, we can't sort of half to focus, take a picture and just get stuff like that. So the actual image quality is very good. It's 3264 by 2488 pixels. You can shoot HD video at 720p at 25 frames per second. So the camera is pretty good. Well, actually, it is very good. You know, this is a Nokia phone, and Nokias are very renowned for making good cameras. And as I just said, the camera on the E7 does not let you down at all. Now the next thing we can go on to is the text input, as this phone does have a physical QWERTY keyboard. If I just go into messaging, new messages, we have a wide array of options. We have this virtual QWERTY keyboard on screen, which you get in the Symbian Anna update. And one thing I do like about this, you do get multi-touch. So you can click a few things at once. You can select, you can select certain parts, and we get input options, activate prediction, settings. We get an array of settings there. As well as this, you do have a landscape QWERTY keyboard on screen. However, the main attraction is obviously the full slider QWERTY keyboard, and it is very roomy. As I'm not sure if you can see this, but there is a slight raise to the buttons, and they are very tactile. You can type very fast once you're used to them. Hello, this is a review of the Nokia E7. As you can see, there is not a dedicated row for the numbers. However, there is enough room on the top row, and it doesn't clash with the actual screen, which slides up like that. There's a control button, a sort of second key function, shift, system. So I think this gives us symbols. Yeah, they do. They give us symbols. A 3 key wide space bar. It's pretty big. Could have been bigger because we do get this D-pad as well. I rarely ever use the D-pad, but it is there if you want to use it. So this has been a review of the Nokia E7. If there is anything you want me to go through that you think I've missed, just let me know in the comments box, and I'll make a separate video just for you. Make sure you rate, comment and subscribe. Obviously, if you want something doing, you will need to subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.